There was a huge belief around the NBA that the 2020 draft didn't really have a real consensus top overall pick. While Anthony Edwards was said to have Dwayne Wade-like athletic ability and insane shot creating potential, but there were questions about his focus on both ends of the floor, and yet, the Timberwolves selected him first overall. James Wiseman, on the other hand, was an extremely quick and high upside big man with insane physical tools, but scouts felt like there were just too many question marks surrounding his game, yet the Warriors took a chance on him. Then there was LaMelo Ball, who definitely had all the buzz surrounding him during the pre-draft process because of his ability to dish out highlight-worthy passes while having elite physical tools for a point guard. But despite Ball being the most talented specimen out of his draft class, questions about his decision-making and trigger-happy shot selection in the past had critics questioning whether he would be able to effectively run an NBA offense. Then scouts also questioned Ball's unrefined three-point shot and his mediocre athletic ability as areas of concern, which further decreased his draft stock. And basically, the general consensus was that LaMelo Ball had the biggest bust potential among all top prospects from his draft. And I think what this tells you is that apparently, scouts have overlooked how LaMelo has been able to thrive as the main offensive initiator in a grown man's environment when he played in the NBL. But as a believer of LaMelo since day one, it's just great to see how he's currently the clear front runner for the Rookie of the Year award, as he's leading all first-year players in points, assists, and rebounds both in totals and per game averages, while ranking first in total steals as well. And currently, he's looking like the clear face of the Hornets team, which is currently in the playoff hunt in the Eastern Conference after being bottom dwellers for the past few years. So what's good, guys, it's Rero Balls here, and today we'll look into how LaMelo Ball is making his critics look silly and how the Hornets have provided him with the right environment to thrive as a rookie and as a future franchise star. But before we move on, make sure to hit that like button if you happen to enjoy this video, cause it helps the channel to grow a lot. It only takes a second of your time, but it will be greatly appreciated. So let's get to it. Currently, LaMelo Ball is primed to become only the fifth player in NBA history to average at least 15 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists as a rookie, alongside Magic Johnson, Oscar Robertson, Ben Simmons, and Michael Carter-Williams. And since being inserted by Coach Borrego in the starting lineup, Ball has been playing lights out, posting a 26-6 stat line while having 46, 43, and 86% shooting splits. But aside from him, there are also a number of guys in this Hornets roster who have been overlooked in the past but are currently thriving in their roles. Well, for one, Gordon Hayward was seen by many as a washed-up star just a few months ago, and a lot of people thought that his $120 million contract was a huge overpay. But currently, Hayward is putting up numbers similar to what he's put up in his All-Star season in Utah, as he's averaging 21.5 points while having the most efficient scoring season of his career. And similarly, Terry Rozier was kinda seen as an overpaid replacement for Kemba Walker last season, who didn't really meet expectations in his first year in Charlotte. But currently, the guy is the Hornets' second leading scorer at 20.2 points per game while having the 11th most three-pointers in the NBA this season. And the emergence of Malik Monk is also worth noticing because he didn't really get to do much during his first 3 years in the league, despite having a good month-long stretch before the season suspension last year. But after being out of the rotation for so long, Monk has been balling as of late, as he's been putting up 17 points while shooting 40% from deep during Charlotte's last 10 games. And of course, the Hornets also have highly effective young pieces in PJ Washington and Miles Bridges. And there's still Devontae Graham, who's still a formidable three-point shooter and a reliable creator in the pick and roll, despite having a significant drop-off in scoring this season. But of course, there's no bigger story out there than LaMelo Ball, who's rightfully proving that he's the best player from his draft class. Well, the guy's been showing that he's more than a capable offensive initiator in the modern NBA, despite what the critics have said before. And it's not hard to see that he fits the mold of highly coveted wing-sized playmakers like LeBron James and Luka Doncic, who ranked 1 and 2 in assists per game last year. Because LaMelo at 6'8" has a rare mix of outstanding physical frame and the natural passing instincts of a pure point guard, which has been showing game in and game out so far. Currently, Ball ranks 17th in the NBA in assists per game, but considering that he hasn't really played starter minutes during the first quarter of the season, we should probably expect his assist average to increase towards the end of the year. But still, he leads all rookies in total assists and assists per game, and just with the naked eye test, you'll see that Ball makes his teammates better when he's on the floor, as the guy can just dish out any kind of pass imaginable in a basketball game. He can dish out no-look passes from any angle, he can find open teammates in traffic, and he has been thriving as a pick-and-roll creator as well. But to be honest, it's really hard to lay out how LaMelo compares as a playmaker to great point guards of the past like Magic or Stockton, because obviously, the game has changed so much and the NBA is currently playing in the space and pace era where the game is much faster and assists and scoring numbers can get inflated. But if we look at how LaMelo compares to other highly regarded point guards from recent drafts, then you'll see that he has the makings of at least a remarkable playmaker and a consistent all-star caliber player. As currently, per NBA advanced statistics, LaMelo Ball is posting a higher passing usage rate than Luka Doncic during his rookie year, but his 23.5 passing usage rate is still lower than that of Trae Young and Ja Morant's rate during their rookie seasons as well. But to put that into context, out of all four players, LaMelo is also posting the lowest usage rate among them during their rookie seasons. And basically what these numbers tell you is that at this point in his career, LaMelo Ball is already at par with Luka Doncic, at least on a playmaking standpoint. And considering that he's had to share playmaking duties with guys like Rozier, Graham, and Hayward in Charlotte so far, he doesn't really have the freedom that Trae Young or Ja Morant had during the rookie years in terms of distributing the ball. But based on the numbers, LaMelo's already there in terms of being a good playmaker, and it's not hard to imagine his assist percentages skyrocket once his usage rate increases in the future, which would definitely happen. But despite having the full playmaking package even back in his pre-NBA days, why is it that scouts still doubted LaMelo's value as an offensive initiator? While obviously in the NBA, players need to attract defenses to be able to generate open looks for teammates, and for real, there were questions as to whether or not LaMelo can put pressure on defenders in the NBA level since he wasn't really known to be a prolific scorer. But right now, he's been fine and he's already been commanding attention from defenders, as currently for a rookie, Ball is scoring both in the paint and from the three-point line at a high level. So far this season, Ball is taking 31% of his shots at the rim and is making 62% of those. And if you look at it, his three-point shot, which was considered as an underdeveloped skill while he was being evaluated prior to the draft, looks like it has translated quite well in the NBA. And considering that LaMelo only shot below 30% from three-point range in the NBL, you can say that he's been right on cue right now, as Ball is taking more than 5 3-point attempts per game so far, and he's been draining 36% of those. LaMelo was also fit quite well playing off the ball with the Hornets' other playmakers, as he's also shooting a decent 35.6% of all his catch-and-shoot 3-point attempts. And more than that, he's also shown that he can have the rack on his hands, as he's making 37% of his pull-up 3-point attempts. While obviously being able to shoot threes off the dribble is a necessity for point guards nowadays. And again, if we look at how he compares to Luka Doncic, Ja Morant, and Trae Young, the results are quite staggering. As per NBA advanced statistics, LaMelo Ball has the highest percentage in terms of self-created 3-point shots among all those guys during their rookie seasons. And these numbers show that LaMelo isn't really having any trouble making shots as a point guard while being able to generate shots for his teammates as well. And even on defense, LaMelo has also been proving people wrong for calling him a bad defender because of his mediocre lateral speed and bad defensive habits in the past. As currently, LaMelo's 1.6 steals per game ranks 6th overall in the NBA, and his current 2.4% steal rate belongs to the 97th percentile of all point guards. And definitely, this is mind-blowing for a guy who was presumed to be a bad defender prior to entering the league. While of course, LaMelo is an extremely talented player, but he's been able to put his full skill set on display because the Hornets have been playing with an equal opportunity approach on offense so far. This team is playing without any real ball-dominant star who's trying to single-handedly win games for them, as during the last 5 minutes of games, 6 Hornets players have had usage rates of above 50% so far. And currently, the Hornets have the 3rd highest assist rate in the NBA, which is not only because of LaMelo's high-level playmaking, but because of Gordon Hayward and Terry Rozier's unselfishness as well. Because if you look at it, Rozier and Hayward, the Hornets' top 2 scorers, are 2 guys with some of the lowest usage rates among all players who are scoring at least 20 points per game. And so I think you just can't ask for a better environment where LaMelo can thrive, and to me, the Hornets are laying down the right foundations for their future franchise player to dominate the league in the next few years. While LaMelo is already showing signs of stardom, but he's still got a lot of time to grow. He's currently the third youngest player in the NBA, and that's honestly scary for the rest of the league. Last season, the Hornets were in 10th place in the East, but there's a big chance they would make the playoffs this year. But whether or not that happens, they already have their player of the future at hand, and the only thing left to do is building around him the right way. Thank you for sticking until the end of the video, and as always, feel free to drop your thoughts on the comment section below, and if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe as well. Again, this is Rero Balls, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace!